So, Jake, we were talking a bit about obviously your amazing performance at the Grime Opera, and yeah, really, it was amazing to have you as part of that and sort of get you performing on that platform. The thing I wanted to talk to you about next is, so obviously after the competition and the performance and stuff, you've then carried on and kind of progressed, you know, to the professional industry, and you're kind of starting out on your journey as a producer and DJ and performer.
Yep.
What would you say? What was the steps you took to kind of make that jump? How did you do that?
For the progression into becoming a performer, the main idea is to kind of develop a sound, develop something that's going to make you stand out from the others, and that's what a lot of people do. If you go to if you turn on the radio and listen to a couple of songs on BBC Radio 1, all of the songs that are on there, they all sound different in their own way, whether it's different chord progression or different scale. It's all going to sound different. Some people have a theme, some people have a kind of go-to technique for how they produce their tracks. Some people have a certain type of lyrical structure or lyrical setting, if you will. So that I'd say the first thing to do is work on your style, make it unique, make it original. If some things sound similar to another track, that's fine. But the one thing you should not do is take someone else's track and claim it as your own. That is the one thing you should never do. If it's a small idea, that's fine. Just as long as it isn't the whole track, that's the one thing you should not do.
And so how did you find, because obviously your style, I'd say it kind of, we were talking about this, it combines kind of some quite sort of commercial EDM sort of aspects, but with some quite heavy, maybe more dark sounds, more from the kind of metal dubstep end of things. How did you go about finding your sound, or where would you say people should look for their influences to find their own sound?
For influence, I'd say listen to bands that you like, and this is to get a starting ground for where you want your style to be and what you, in theory, what you want to make. Start with songs and bands that you really like. Start thinking about how they'd make their tracks all come together and how they use maybe sounds from their environment to if you have a dog, record it barking or something. If you have lots of pots and pans in your kitchen or something, hit a couple of those with a spoon, and some random sounds like that could have a massive influence on what the song that you're trying to make will be.
Okay, so it's kind of thinking about, right, what can you bring in that maybe other people wouldn't think of? What music do you listen to that maybe isn't the most popular thing at the moment, but which you can hear how it could be combined together? I think that's really good advice. And so on that note, have you got any other advice for, say, people starting out in year 7, maybe who were where you were when you uploaded Hammer 4? Mm-hmm. What advice would you give going back to yourself in year 7 or to other people starting out, to help them get to where you are, talking to labels and trying to kind of get started in the industry?
The main part behind it is work hard and keep working hard. Because the moment that you start working hard and the moment that, continue to work hard, that in the long run can pay off massively. If you sit there and, do 5 minutes a day of working on sound design, think about it. In the long run, yeah, sure, that might be helpful. But is it going to have a massive impact? Is it going to have a massive positive impact? Not so much. So one thing that I would say is keep working hard often. Make sure that it's, consistent as well. Don't fall off for a week and then be like, I'm not going to do this anymore.
Yeah.
That's not going to help your own sound. That's not going to help starting out. And I want to say as well, don't be so harsh on yourself. Don't bring yourself down and be like, oh, this doesn't sound that great. If it doesn't sound great, get somebody else's opinion on it. Someone that, is, quite close to you, someone that you can rely on, because they will most likely give you their honest opinion about it.
Yeah, and obviously with VIP, you can always upload tracks and get feedback from us as well.
Yeah.
So that's one place that you can get some of that feedback. So with you were saying about, putting in lots of time, putting in kind of work. How were you working on things at home? Were you like logging in at home and working there, or what kind of amount of time were you putting into those tracks?
With the tracks that I work on now, what I usually do is I come home from school, and if I have study club, I'll come home from study club. I will get everything done that I need to do that's important for schoolwork. And then majority of my evenings then is spent working on tracks or coming up with the beginning of a new track that I haven't fully fleshed out.
And so that's kind of like a daily routine.
Yeah, pretty much.
You try and stick to. And so with VIP, were you logging in at home to use VIP?
Yeah, with VIP I was logging in around every day, I'd say.
Wow.
And I think the longest session I ever did was, I think it was like maybe 4 or 5 hours in one time.
Okay,
and that was like, I had a deadline. Like, I don't know why I did this, but I made myself a deadline.
Yeah.
I don't work well under pressure, so it was. I want to finish Hammerfall by next week. I'd worked on it like every day, tried to get it finished. And then it was that final day before the deadline. I was like, right, I've got to get this finished. I needed to get some other things done that were in the track, like working on drums and everything. Working on the mix to make sure it actually sounded all right. And then from there, it was more of a case of sending the track to Max and get it all done.
Amazing. Okay, well, that's incredible work. And I think some really good advice for people starting out there. So if you want to get to the place that Jake is, if you want to get into the music industry and, start talking to labels, start talking about releasing records, you need to be setting yourself deadlines, you need to be building a routine, and you need to be working hard every day. I think that's really good advice, whatever you're doing. So amazing. Thank you, Jake. And good luck on all your projects.
Thank you.